works out. Sometimes, obviously, now there are different lines and different rows, and you have to go when you can.
So Creed has Travis Brayton behind him on the top line. Thompson, then Herbst. That's the high line. Then you see Dean back there. On the bottom line, it's Core, Gregson, and under 10 to go. Pace car about to pull off. It might be the final restart to determine the season opener for the Arca Racing Series, presented by Menards.
So important to get a good restart here, and don't leave the guy right behind you. Have him go with you. Motion for him when you're getting ready to jump in the throttle.
Watch Brett Holmes back there, third in line on the bottom line. Chase Purdy back there in the red Bama Buggies car. Back to green at Daytona. Creed on the top side, Core on the bottom side. Gregson trying to push Core along. But Brayton is giving a good bump as well to Creed up top.
Both those guys in the second row did an amazing job on this restart.
And they stay hooked up. Head to the backstretch.
Top lane with an advantage of two.
A little bit of energy there on the outside.
And that's Brayton doing the work. And Core will duck in line right there. So it's Creed, Core, Gregson, Brayton, Holmes, Thompson, and Purdy. And Thompson's the only one on the top side right now.
And Gus Dean is hanging in there. He's on the inside of Herbst with that damaged car.
Watch that green and white Sinclair car back there. Michael Self, he's trying to stay within range.
Lined up with Tom Hesser, that black and blue car on the outside.
But they've got to catch the pack. The front pack has inched away just a bit. Led by 20-year-old Sheldon Creed, looking for his first Arca win.
Those guys on the outside need to get in line. Stay single file, try to catch that front pack.
Sean Core still in second, takes a little bump from Gregson, hangs on to it. Brayton in fourth, Holmes, Purdy, that's the top six. They've spread out a little bit.
Well, we're going to see a caution. Caution is out.
And it's for the 10 car of Marakovich. We just mentioned slowing to a stop on the apron. Caution.
Wonder if he was one of the guys that only made that one pit stop early on. Now we're hearing that maybe he made some contact with the outside safer barrier. There's Michael Self going by him.
Possibly some oil. Looks like the...
Michael Self was wall up against the wall, and then Tony came along and made some contact with the wall.
There's a big slide. Let's see what we can see again. Oh, he slid up into Michael Self. So Marakovich got up into Self, who then hung onto it, and then Marakovich slid up.
Almost looked like a right front tire or something went down quick on Marakovich's car as sharply as he turned right.
Definitely mechanical, yeah.
So Self in 11th position might have a little bit of damage.
Both on the left and the right. Left where Marakovich made contact with him, and the right side from the wall.
And now Sheldon Creed on this restart is going to have what he likes, because he's going to have Noah Gregson behind him. He's in third. So it's Creed, Core, Gregson, Brayton, Holmes the top five, Purdy, and Gus Dean still within reach.
Yeah, when you said earlier this might be the last restart, I was thinking to myself, I'm not too sure about that.
I wouldn't have bet on that, but it might have been. Chances were not good. So we'll see if we finish in regulation or go to Arca overtime. The Lucas Oil 200, driven by General Tire, is nearing a conclusion.
I accept I don't conquer the mountain like I used to. I even accept I have a higher risk of stroke due to AFib, a type of irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. But whatever trail I take, I go for my best. So if there's something better than warfarin, I'll go for that too. Eliquis. Eliquis reduced the risk of stroke better than warfarin, plus had less major bleeding than warfarin. Eliquis had both.
Don't stop taking Eliquis unless your doctor tells you to, as stopping increases your risk of having a stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. While taking Eliquis, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer than usual for any bleeding to stop. Seek immediate medical care for sudden signs of bleeding, like unusual bruising. Eliquis may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures.
I'm still going for my best, and for Eliquis.
Ask your doctor about Eliquis.
For more than half a century, Sioux Chief has been the name to know for quality American-made rough plumbing products. It's the choice of contractors with stylish and innovative shower drains, bracketing systems, and a full line of supply fittings. Sioux Chief expansion grip systems provide solid connections. Protect your ice maker, dishwasher, toilet, or washing machine from harmful water hammer by installing a Sioux Chief mini rester that's guaranteed for the lifetime of your home's plumbing. Sioux Chief is your plumbing solution. Available at your nearest Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Yep, it's true.
The audit.
Robots have entered the world of accounting.
The forecast.
But if you're a certified management accountant, you're not worried.
The risk assessment.
You'll still set the strategy, and you'll still make the decisions.
Sorry, I was just keeping your seat warm.
Because you won't be working for them. They'll be working for you. The CMA certification. You've got to earn it.
I've got an idea.
Go, seek, discover what lies beyond. On the entirely new 2018 Goldwing Tour from Honda.
We've got another late race caution in the Arca opener at Daytona. We saw similar happenings last year. Austin Terrio is joining us in the booth with Phil Parsons and Kevin Lee in the final stages last year. With Austin out in front, heavy damage for Justin Fontaine in the 33. Cody Wobaugh, Bobby Gerhardt also involved in it. I saw Justin at the racetrack today. Good to see him. He's got a full-time Camping World Truck Series ride, but he had a pretty significant back injury. Austin, similar to what you had, a compression fracture.
It's great to see him come back and fight back from an injury like that.
And then you also have experienced what these drivers are experiencing, the late race restart and dealing with that. How do you deal with knowing they only get one more chance to go?
Well, you never want to tell yourself that you've got the checker flag in hand, and it's never over till it's over. So what these guys have to do, they have to focus one last time. There may be other cautions. Let's just hope that they go green here and finish it out, but total focus from here on out.
Let's check in with Dylan.
Well, and Sean Corr's guys are happy for that caution because it puts him in the outside lane. Travis Braden pushed Sheldon Creed to the lead on the last restart. So this time, the 43 car is in front of Travis Braden. They've got Chase Purdy third in line on the outside lane as well, who has not been shy today about using his front bumper to push cars. So Sean Corr and his guys hoping for a similar situation to happen on this restart, maybe put them back up front.
Who do we like up front of this pack of the top 7, 8, maybe even 10 cars?
I like that inside line. I like Creed and Gregson lined up together. Brett Holmes has done a nice job. He's in the third spot inside line, but the 54 and the 28 have worked together really well.
I'm going to go with the underdogs on the outside, Corr and Braden.
5 to go. Looking for the pace car to pull off. The lights are out. Creed on the bottom side. Corr up top. Neither have won in Arca. Gregson has won in the Truck Series, not in Arca. Braden won his very first race, trying for number 2. He restarts in 4th. Gregson giving the push to Creed on the bottom side. Can Braden help push Corr to the front? Chase Purdy making it a 3-car push on the outside.
Great start on the outside by your guys, Austin. But look at that inside line. Look at the inside line go.
Dozing in front is Sheldon Creed, leading again at Daytona.
Braden jumps to the inside and leaves Sean Corr. Now Sean's going to try to side draft to kill the momentum on the inside.
Braden is fast, and now he's on the bottom side, chasing Gregson and Creed. Holmes right there on the bottom side in the 23.
See, Tom Hesser and Michael Self went through the middle, put the 66 of Mark Thompson on the outside.
Purdy has moved up top. We'll see if he can push Corr back into contention. Right now, the top 2 have checked out just a bit. Creed and Gregson. 3 to go in Daytona.
See that outside line trying to get a little momentum. Look at the black and blue car of Hesser with a bit of a run. He's pull up on the back of the 8 of Purdy. Now he's going to go around the outside, put Purdy in the middle. Michael Self's helping him on the outside.
Oh, and Purdy's just going backwards there in the middle with no help. Self in the green and white 15. Boots are down on the grass. Will it stay green?
Great save by Leilani.
Trying to get out of the way as we come to the line with 2 to go coming up.
3 wide.
Back there for 5th position. And Gus Dean grabs that spot for a moment.
How can Gus Dean be racing for the 4th spot with all that damage in that 32 car?
Top 4 have checked out just a bit. Creed, Gregson, Brayton, and Holmes.
Just 2 to go.
Dean is in 5th, then Core, Hesser, Herbst, Purdy, and Self, the top 10. Prater, Zane Smith, who dominated early, is back in 12th position.
27 wants to go to the outside, but he has to be careful here.
He needs to wait a lap, I think. Don't want to take a shot now. Purdy's pushing. Core in the outside.
You don't want to show them your move until you're ready.
Coming down for the white, Kevin.
Through the tri-oval. Sheldon Creed with Noah Gregson on his bumper. 2.5 miles to go in the season opener in Daytona. And we're back to a dozen right there in the path. Creed into turn number 2. Gregson a car length behind. Another car length back to Braden. Here comes Core again in that blue 43 on the top side with a good push from Purdy. And they're wrecking. Holmes is going around and upside down. James Smith around. A big one here in Daytona, but keep in mind, this is not the finish of this race. We will see a 1-lap shootout to determine this one. So another restart coming. And that's Holmes on his side. Thompson also comes to a stop, and multiple cars involved here on the final lap at Daytona.
There's the 32 of Gus Dean.
He survived the early contact, a couple of more near misses with contact. His day looks like it will come to a close, and we will have a red flag.
We could feel the energy building from up here.
Yeah, and you just fight for space, and then you get to the last lap, and you know if you give up 3 or 4 feet, then you're probably not going to get it back.
There's Mark Thompson, who's having such a good run. We see him moving around in the car.
He's winning that down.
I want to see Brett Holmes, who was on his side. There's Brett moving around. That's Gus Dean, I'm sorry. That's Gus Dean. He says he's okay.
He gave that car a great ride after all that damage he got earlier in the race.
And through all of that, Sean Core is shown in 2nd position. But we'll wait and see how this all plays out once they get things settled in.
Yeah, it all depends on when the Arca racing officials put the caution flag out, because you cannot advance your position once the caution flag is displayed.
But he was moving on that top line. He's definitely the top
had
4 or so.
Definitely had some momentum, yes.
Yeah.
He could very well be in 2nd.
The top lane had a bunch of good cars there right before that wreck. He had the 41 of Zane Smith, Purdy.
I think Zane ended up with a lot of damage in this incident as well.
So I think that's a good sign that Brett Holmes is okay, because they're working on just putting the car back upright.
I believe that's Zane right there, isn't it?
Yeah,
that is Zane, yeah. He walked up under his own power to the ambulance. It's good to see.
He had a great run early. No contact on pit road, got shuffled back. Too many good cars. It was too difficult to make your way back to the front. Gus Dean climbing out.
And remember, as you mentioned, we will have a 1-lap shootout.
Because they saw the white flag, that's why.
You take the white, then you come around and take the checkered.
Yeah, we'll get confirmation from the Arca officials. It will be green and white together when they restart this race for 1 lap. But that doesn't mean that's going to be it. If we have another incident on that last lap, then we will have another restart. We will finish this race under green.
We've got time.
We have time.
Cup qualifying is at noon tomorrow. We're clear until then.
I mean, we've kept Austin up here the whole time. We might as well just finish it off.
This is a good view, though, isn't it?
Great view.
Not as good as the view he had last year out front. We'll take that one. Austin Terrio is joining us in the booth, the 2017 Arca champion. Phil Parsons on Kevin Lee. Jim Trado and Dylan Welch are on pit road. We had a pretty big win on the white flag lap.
Talk about the nerves that Sheldon Creed is feeling right now. He knows he's in first place, but the race is not over yet.
He seems like a pretty calm character to me. But that may be just outward appearance. Everyone has to feel it. Because I put you in the same category. You appear as calm and as steady as anyone I've ever met. What are you feeling in those circumstances?
You still feel it.
Yeah.
You still feel it. 1 lap to go. The race is not over. Anything can happen.
We can see Brett moving around over the top of the hood. Yes, it is. You can see the roof is intact with that car. It did not smash. Didn't look like it landed on the roof. Certainly landed on the side and slid along on its side.
We'll have to see a replay of that.
So it's going to take a little bit to clean up the carnage from this one, and then we are in store for a 1-lap shootout with great stories up front. Sheldon Creed has won Stadium Super Truck Championships. He's driven on road courses. There's Brett Holmes. Good to see.
Absolutely.
Definitely disappointed, but it's good to see him out.
Yeah, he had a great run going to. Did a really nice job. Looking for a fresh start to the 2018 season, and he was within a half a lap having a great finish.
Now, if our monitors are correct, Chase Purdy's running 5th, and just a lap before that, he was in the middle lane headed backwards, so good recovery for him.
So let's go back and look at how all of this got started. Look at the 23 on the bottom side of Holmes.
See that we've got the 18 pushing the 32, and the 32's trying to help the 23, but he catches him in the right rear corner, and that turns him sideways. And I think he launched off the front of the 66 of Mark Thompson.
If it wouldn't have been for that incident, the outside line definitely would have had a shot at the win.
And I think you guys might be right. Sean Core is being shown on our scoring monitor in second, and he's lined up second under this red flag.
See, look at the momentum the outside lane had before that.
I'm not sure, though. It depends on.
Remember, it's not instantaneous. I mean, it's not, you know, the caution flag's going to come out as soon as they can, because they know the damage is severe enough that we need a caution flag. As you see Brett Holmes sliding down driver's side.
That's going to be close, because Core definitely had the momentum and it was on his way. That angle looks like he is ahead of him.
It does.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure does.
And Purdy is up there. And Zane Smith almost was ahead of it, and he got hit on the rear quarter.
Yeah, Dave Mader III made hard contact with Zane Smith. Dave Mader was doing a nice job. We haven't talked a whole lot about him. He's a former winner here in the series back in, what, 91?
Correct.
He won a race in Michigan. He was a Snowball Derby winner in 1978.
On board with Justine.
Yeah, he was trying to pedal the throttle, trying to get out from that situation.
Riley Hurt just had a few close calls tonight.
Both those cars in front of him involved in the incident. Let's see how Riley gets through here.
So he takes a wild ride through the grass.
He dodged 2 of them. Didn't spend too much time on the grass, though.
Did a great job. This is going to be a great view right here. Look at everybody going down to the grass. That's Thomas Prater, that yellow and black car that went through the grass a little bit, and then we saw Riley Herbst go through the grass.
Prater came out of that scored in the 6th position.
Yeah, you see Riley Herbst is pushing the 32. Really, Gustine, we heard him trying to get out of the throttle, but he's being pushed from behind. Just made contact with the wrong spot on that 32. Look how far underneath the 32, the 23 that Gustine goes. Michael Self going through there. There's Tom Hessert, the 55, going through there. There's the contact from Dave Mader.
Big impact.
He was fastest in practice here on Thursday.
Yeah.
He was really enjoying his week.
I'm not sure there was a happier person in the garage here than Dave Mader.
So this is all in the back stretch going in, heading towards turn 3. Look at the visual of those sparks.
It's amazing pictures.
And there's the aftermath of the 23 from Brett Holmes. So Holmes, Dean, Smith, Mader, and Thompson among those involved. We have a green-white finish coming up. One lap to determine the opener at Daytona. Stay with us on FS1.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Some things should never change, like the crisp, cold refreshment of Busch. But some things should, like John's lack of awareness. Main menu.
To hear the options again, press 4.
Main menu.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. To make a payment,
Representative.
press 2. To hear the options
Representative.
again. Sorry, I didn't quite get that.
Speak to a representative.
What are the last
Just give me the phone.
digits of your
Representative. Time and place.
Name. You will picture me in your head. Can you see my skin, my age, my beliefs, address? You imagine this place. Does where I'm from change how you see me? When you get to my experience, will you see how qualified I am? My skills. Don't imagine what I might be. See what I can do. Search for greatness. Search indeed. The world's #1 job site.
So from the 2 trucks over here, I want you to pick a new truck for your mom or dad, knowing that they could possibly pass it down to you one day. Cool. But before you decide, you should know that Chevy Silverados are the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road. Which means that Ford F-150s are not. Which truck would you pick?
The Chevy. The Chevy? The Chevy.
There you go.
That was obvious. This looks cooler.
No doubt about it. Now they know what to give me.
We've got bonus Arca racing from Daytona, and when we're done, it's UFC 221 prelims on FS1 as Damian Beatdown Brown steps into the octagon to face Don Hun Kim. Plus, Rob Wilkinson welcomes Israel Adesanya in his UFC debut. UFC 221 prelims coming up next on FS1 or stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Another look at the white flag crash. Clean up coming to a close. 1 lap remaining. Coming up next from Daytona.
Daytona days coming.
The Daytona 500 is the great American race. I know it was the crown jewel moment of my career thus far.
And at Daytona, NASCAR's greatest drivers demand the fastest cars.
I can't wait to get behind the wheel of that 2018 Toyota Camry. Built in Kentucky and made for victory lane.
The Daytona 500 on Fox. Toyota, let's go places.
You can't fake greatness. Not on the track and not in the chip aisle. Like a seasoned driver behind the wheel, Hers chips take you from caution flag levels of hunger to checkered flag feelings of satisfaction. When it comes to race day snacks, the signature crunch and endless flavors of Hers leaves the competition in a pile of chip dust. Don't settle for anything less than the champions of the chip aisle. Hers, forever good. Available at Menards.
If you told me a year ago where I'd be right now, I would have said you were crazy. But so began the year of me. I discovered the true meaning of paperless discounts and the indescribable rush of saving drivers an average of $620.
My God's beer feels so good!
I fell in love 3 times. Once with a woman, once with a country, and finally, with myself.
So do you have anything to declare on that?
Isn't that what I'm doing?
This is happy anniversary.
Hey, honey, any chance you want to swap places?
Not yet.
I watched the Daytona 500 with family. My favorite memories, obviously Dad's win, coming down pit road, all the crew guys shaking his hand.
Coming up next on FS1, it's the UFC 221 Free Fight Show with me, Tyron Woodley, and Michael Bisping. There was drama at yesterday's weigh-in down in Perth, Australia. Luke Rockhold will fight for a title. Yoel Romero will not. We'll get you all squared away next. Back to Daytona with Kevin.
Thanks, Karen. We are under the red flag for the Lucas Oil 200 driven by General Tire in the Arca season opener at Daytona. Sheldon Creed is the leader. And Phil, since he's not as busy right now, see if you could check in with him.
Yeah, let's see what's on his mind. Hey, Sheldon Creed. Phil Parsons up in the Fox Sports 1 booth. You got a copy? Sheldon, you've done a great job with that United Rentals Toyota. What are you thinking here now, knowing you're going to have a one-lap shootout? What's your plan?
Yeah, I mean, we've had good restarts all night. Noah Gregson, the 54, has been really good pushing up to 27. Now let's get back to the lead there, pushing up. So just got to do our job here. Get a good last restart, get through the gears good, and hoping the 54 now with us the same thing. And biggest thing is we don't want to be too late from the two, because another good move to two. So just got to do our jobs here, and maybe come around this lead.
Do you have a plan, Sheldon, to keep that 54 close to you? You don't want to get too far out in front of him. Do you have a plan to make sure he stays with you?
I mean, hopefully we just hook up and I can lay up the gas a little bit. We can stay connected, or just gotta watch him. If he has to make a move, I gotta just gotta kind of block, I guess. So gonna try to do our job here. We've had a good car all night. The F50 guys have killed it all week, so just gotta get a win for them.
We've done a great job all night, buddy. Finish it off.
Let's find out what's happening on pit road with some of those on top of the stand making decisions. We start with Dylan.
And we're down with Coley Barraclaw, who's the crew chief for Chase Purdy, who runs 5th right now. You guys were back near the back of the top 10 just about 4 or 5 laps ago. Now you're back up to 5th. How are you able to get back up there so quickly?
Just do what TJ tells him to do. He's doing a good job. It's his first speedway race. Pretty proud of him. So I think we're going to line up 4th, so whoever gets in front of us, we're going to push him to victory lane, and hopefully we can follow him.
What has the learning process been like for Chase over the course of this race? It is his first Daytona start.
He's learned that riding the bottom is a lot easier. It's a lot more work to ride outside, and he learned that. He's been out there, but he's done a good job. He's kept it clean. He's helped everybody around him, so that's what he's here for, get respect, and that way they'll work with him better next time.
One lap, can you go from 5th or 4th to the win?
Anything can happen in this race, so whoever's in front of us, we're gonna help push him out there, and if we go with him, if we can get by him, but we're running out of time. We just want a nice, I'm happy with the finish we got right now if it ended right now. For the long term, for Chase, good learning curve, he'll be all ready for Talladega.
Chase Purdy restarting 5th. That's the thoughts of the man calling the shots for him, Coley Barraclaw. Let's go to Jim Trado.
Starting just ahead of him on this restart when we go back green, Dylan, is the driver, the number 54 of Noah Gregson. His crew chief for DGR Crosley Racing is Chris Lawson. And Chris, I know your spotter's been way engaged. Jason Hedlesky's been through a lot with Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards for years behind the wheel. Now he's got Noah, and you've got a new car, a new team, and this driver's been able to put that car just about anywhere. What's your strategy now as we're nearing this one lap to run?
Well, even as good as Jason is, we actually got Tony Hirschman up there, and he's doing an amazing job. So I want to give a lot of credit to him. And really, it's between him and Noah is what has put us in the spot we're in. So just going to hope that 8 pushes us, man. That's what it's down to now.
Now, you guys made a deal earlier with Sheldon Creed saying, okay, we're going to play nice at the 28. We're going to make sure we get a distance, get a gap. Any other strategies playing out with Sheldon Creed will start just ahead of you?
I mean, I think it's every man for himself now. I mean, we're 1 lap away, and I think you just got to go.
That's the crew chief, Chris Lawson, for the number 54 of Noah Gregson. Noah's only got 1 prior ARCA Racing Series start here at Daytona. He said, I need more drafting experience. And this team went since they got here, building this car a month ago without coming to the test in January. We've got a strong piece to the finish here, guys.
All right, thank you, Jim. Also, we've got information of those involved, checked and released from the Infield Care Center. That includes Brett Holmes, Gus Dean, Zane Smith, and Mark Thompson. They're all okay. So we're lined up, ready to go for 1 more lap. How did we get there? It has been an eventful night here tonight, starting with 20-year-old Natalie Decker on the pole and Zane Smith on the outside, grabbing the early lead.
Pretty calm for about 24 laps. Then we had the 99 Ronnie Osmer lose an engine. Then we had a couple cars get involved in an incident trying to avoid him. That brought out caution number 1.
Dustin with some early damage stayed in. Riley Herbst, one of those expected to be quick with some problems early on.
A lot of issues on pit road today.
Yes, Zane Smith leaving his pit, runs into the 5 of Bobby Gerhardt.
And then further back, Daniel Sasnick going around, causing one of our 5 cautions.
Ed Papa, the 22, gets involved along with Andrew Belmont. Another view from what Natalie Decker saw, or for an instant anyway.
She was able to escape a couple of different times. Here, though, got into the back of Max Tolman, one of the early contenders. He led laps in the beginning, but took some contacts.
Yeah, just a chain reaction on a restart. Natalie got the worst of it, unfortunately.
Decker, by the way, is still in this, though. She'll restart in 10th. There's Gusty, Quinn Howe, Bo Lamastis, Brian Doza, all making significant contacts.
Here's the most recent caution that brought out the red flag with Brett Holmes getting turned around with contact from Gus D. Hard hits, Bo Lamastis involved in this as well. Mark Thompson, I'm sorry, not Bo Lamastis, but Mark Thompson involved with this.
And that was on the white flag lap. And that's why we are red right now. And they're rolling again. We're under yellow. When we take the green, it will be a 1-lap shootout. So, Austin, we heard from a driver, we heard from crew chiefs. First, what are you doing if you're Sheldon Creed to help your chances in front?
Well, I'm still hoping that the 54 of Gregson helps me get going. I mean, this restart is going to come down, and I think ultimately the winner of the race is going to come down to what happens between the start-finish line and the end of turn 2. I mean, the momentum that you have. I think if you have the lead coming out of turn 2, you're in good position because you only got 1 lap. You don't have a second lap for other stuff to happen, and it's going to come down to the restart here and making no mistakes. You got to time your restart perfectly. You can't go too soon, because you need the guy behind you to push you.
As Sheldon Creed told us on the radio a few moments ago, he's going to want help from Noah Gregson in the 54, but then he may have to play defense because Noah Gregson doesn't want to finish second in this race.
Yeah, Noah did not come here to run second, so you're going to help the 28 until you feel like you possibly have a run to pass him, but we just don't have a lot of time left, so I think the 28's in the catbird seat, but anything can happen.
But Sean Corr's been so good on the outside in that 43 car, and he's going to have a good pusher. He's going to have either Chase Purdy or Travis Braden, depends on who's going to line up in the 4th spot.
We're definitely not counting him out yet.
It looks like Chase Purdy now is lined up in the 4th spot. His crew chief was right, Cully was right, they're going to restart in the 4th position.
So Phil, let's say you are Noah Gregson and you're starting behind Creed. Is your best hope get the 2 of you past the outside line, then if you want, if you see the other line coming, you can jump in and go with the high line?
Well, that's what I would want to do. I would try to push Sheldon Creed out where I'm clear of maybe Sean Corr, whoever may be leading that outside pack, and then just immediately jump in the outside and try to leave Sheldon Creed by himself.
Because at that point, Creed doesn't have anybody behind him, and you move to the outside with momentum there. So.
And as we said, Noah Gregson is not running for points in Arca. He's a full-time Camping Wheel Truck Series driver for Kyle Busch. So it's win or nothing is what he's looking at here.
There may not even be an opportunity for Gregson to go to the outside because Purdy and Corr, I think, are going to have a strong restart here.
Yeah, Purdy, it looks to me like Purdy's been one of the best pushers that we've had here in this race tonight.
And then there are those that are lurking just a little further back, like Tommy Prater, Michael Self, Riley Herbst, Tom Hessert, a lot of experience here, Natalie Decker restarting in the 10th position. Bobby Gerhardt restarts in 12th, looking for a 9th win here at Daytona. He's the only one entered this year that's won previously at this track.
Yeah, give a call to Chuck Hires in the 06 car. He's running in a 13th spot. How about the 37 of Kirk Horton? We haven't talked a whole lot about him. He's up in the top 15 and 14th. Brad Smith making his 300th career start in 15th. And Con Nicolopoulos driving for Wayne Peterson right now up in the 16th spot.
In 17th, I want to mention Jerry DeWeert. I had a nice conversation with him today. He's from Belgium. Has never done any kind of oval race more than about a half a mile. He's got a lot of road course racing experience, and he is loving his weekend here, and it's going really well, and he's planning on hopefully doing a few more Arca races this season.
He's done a nice job.
Michael Self and Riley Herbst, 2 cars that had issues at the beginning of the race, running in the top 10.
Yeah, even in what we think is a really quick race with 80 laps, you still can persevere and get yourself back into contention.
Now let's not forget, this is race 1. These guys are going to be competing all year. Coming out with a top 10 finish is not the end of the world. You know, you can build on that.
It's Daytona.
It's Daytona.
Would you have been happy last year with a top 10?
No.
Okay,
I'm just saying, but definitely, you know, if you're running for points and you win this race, this could put your year on a really good projection as far as knowing that you got a good team and the confidence can take you so far.
You got a great view there of Michael Self. What an amazing record he has here in Arca. Over the limited number of starts he's had so many top 5 finishes, including that big win at Kansas last year. Came from a long way back to get that win. Let's take a look back at Kansas, our last race of the year, when Austin Terrio was busy clinching a championship. Look at him there. How about that restart there? 5 wide. Emerges with the lead off of turn number 2 and goes on to victory.
That was a huge win for him.
Well, he had been so close a couple of other times. Similar, I think, to Sheldon Creed, too. He had some great restarts. Remember the one that Christopher Bell had last year? Was that at Chicagoland?
Sure was, so? Yeah.
So
ironically, that's the same car that Sheldon Creed's driving, the 28 car. Anyway, same team, MDM Motorsports.
So what's in store for us here? They had a little mix-up in timing and scoring. Maybe you noticed that on the left side of your screen. Sheldon Creed is the leader. Sean Corr is second. Then it's Noah Gragson, Chase Purdy, Travis Braden, Tommy Prater. Those are the front 3 rows. Self and Herbst, the 4th row. Hessert and Decker, the 5th row. And Willie Mullins right now running in 11th position.
It's another guy that has a top 10 finish here at Daytona on his resume.
Finished 8th last year at Daytona, Willie Mullins did. Running for Hickson Motorsports. So now you drift through the cloud in the speedy drive. Let some of that dissipate a little bit, and the cleanup is pretty close to done. They'll drag it down the main stretch you see there. Don't forget, right after we're done, UFC pre-fight is coming up here on FS1, and it's actually on right now if you're looking for it on FS2. Also look into the FS Go app as well. Noah Gragson is rolling down pit road.
Got to be an out of gas situation.
Jim, what do you know?
Yeah, the matter of fact is, when Noah got on the high banks in 3, he said, guys, I think we're out of fuel. We're out of fuel. So Noah Gregson's chances and all that interest in what he was going to do on the restart goes for naught, as he needs a splash and go here on this caution lap.
So if he ran out, who else is worried?
Everybody.
Yes.
Everybody that pitted back when the 28 and the 54 did.
There are a lot of crew chiefs right now sweating on pit road.
And if I'm these guys, when they get down to turn number 3, I'm going to drive along the flat of the racetrack as much as I can. There's some safety equipment over in turn 4 on the flat, but I'm going to stay on the flat, stay away from that bank where that fuel will run away from the pickup. The pickup is over in the right rear corner of these fuel cells, so you want to stay on the flat as much as you can.
We're not ready to go green this time by. There's still a safety truck. Exit of turn 4 and a couple down on the apron in turn number 4. So what does Sheldon Creed have?
We see these guys so many times shut the engine off to try to save fuel. I'd be afraid the engine wouldn't refire.
You have to be careful with these engines because they're fuel injected. They need the fuel. It doesn't act like a carbureted engine, and it's more difficult to restart. I've had them not restart on me a couple times, and I think it actually happened to me here, where you have to cycle the engine and stuff. But these drivers are possibly in situations they never dealt with before.
Let's see if we're going to give them one to go this time. No indication yet from the flagman.
Not this time.
So that's another year off the life of every crew chief.
lot of puckering on pit road. So Sean Corr in position to start on the top side. Let's find out more about the 28, Jim.
Yeah, there's 3 MDM team cars down here. The leader is the 28 of Sheldon Creed. His crew chief is Jeff Stankiewicz. He took a walk down to confer. How worried are you on fuel with the 28, Jeff?
Well, now I'm starting to get worried. I have a feeling with all the speed drive they put down, we're probably going to have another 2 laps of caution. He's saving everything he can right now, but you know, we're still committed at this point. It is what it is. So there's nothing we can do about it now, and hopefully it all works out. We'll have our teammates starting behind us on the inside, so as long as we all have the fuel to do it, I'm pretty excited about that.
Again, their last pit stop and only pit stop for fuel came back on lap 23. About 5 laps prior to our most recent caution, the team was, the crew chief, Jeff, told us, told his driver, excuse me, hey, I think we're good, no longer need to turn the motor off under caution. But now that changed the scenario with this longer extension here. And as he mentioned, 2 more laps of caution could mean more than just the 28 is worried about fuel.
Nick Galopoulos, we saw rolling down pit road. With that teammate he mentioned, that's Chase Purdy in the 8 car. He'll be right behind Creed, the leader.
One of the only downsides at leading at Daytona is that you burn more fuel. And so if you look at Creed right now, that's why they're sweating, because they're up front. You don't have the draft to depend on, so you always burn more fuel.
These engines will get about 6 miles to the gallon. And again, that's just running green flags through and through. These caution laps certainly have helped. There's no way that they would have been able to make it this far without caution laps. We did speculate earlier that maybe a car lost a right front tire when he made contact with Michael Self. That was not the case. That right front tire was up on that car.
Furled flag.
Here we go.
1 lap to go before we restart. Side drafted the pace car a little bit. And eventually Sean Corr will line up next to him. What a story that would be for Sean Corr. He's had some experience in the Camping World Truck Series. Did a few races there, a lot of ARCA races, never better than 5th. And that was here at Daytona. Sheldon Creed is one of those drivers that, one of many in this lineup, that we think have a chance to be superstars on the brink of winning his first big stock car race. Chase Purdy, an up-and-comer. Travis Braden, very talented, on and on and on. Don't forget, UFC 221 prelims are right now on FS2, and after we're done, here on FS1. And when we go green, we will have 1 lap to go. Arca finishes on green, so we could have multiple opportunities.
How about Thomas Prater now running in the 5th spot? His best career finish is 7th. He's been in the top 10 in points the last 5 years. I'd love to see him able to finish this off and get him a good finish. Looks like somebody's overheating there. Is that Natalie?
Looks like it.
She is in 9th position right now.
That wouldn't be that big a deal other than the fact, remember, these engines will retard the timing and they will lose some horsepower when it gets above 240 degrees of water temperature.
So you want to be on the lookout if you're right behind her as well. So, set to go for a 1-lap shootout to determine the biggest race of the ARCA Racing Series schedule. It's at Daytona International Raceway. Sheldon Creed, the young superstar, on the bottom side in the white number 28 United Rentals MDM Motorsports Toyota. The 43 on the top side is 33-year-old Sean Corr in the Empire Racing Ford, and a half dozen others still have a chance to get it done. Pace car is off. Creed controls the restart. He's got his teammate Chase Purdy pushing him on the bottom. Here we go with 1 to go at Daytona. And Creed has the early jump, but Corr is trying to come around the outside with Braden giving him a shove.
Good pushes from the 2nd row for both these guys. Look at him push.
Self is still there, back in 5th position. The front 2 rows, side by side, nose to tail, bumper to bumper. Corr in front, wiggles a bit. Corr on the backstretch. Coming right back is Sheldon Creed. They're still side by side going into 3.
Let's see who gets the advantage going in 3.
Creed on the bottom side. Purdy is going around, hard at the wall. Corr goes with them. Caution. And we'll try again.
Michael Self, Willie Mullins are the first 2 cars to get through there.
Riley Herbst also involved.
A lot of cars involved in that incident. There's Travis Brain. Look at all the damage to that 27 car.
Oh my, we are going to get a wild card winner here in Daytona. With the leaders coming together with one turn to go.
That's the onboard from Travis Brain's number 27, the General Tire onboard.
We've talked about it all day. It's so tough to go bumper to bumper for a whole lap here. And what you just saw in turn 3 was the consequences of that.
There's Brad Smith right there. That's Jerry DeWeert on the other side of him.
And the idea is that it's okay on the straightaways, but you want to get off the bumper in the corners. But last lap, nobody's going to get off the bumper.
These cars are really hard to drive, especially when the rear wheels are off the ground.
So there's Brayton.
See him moving around inside the car. That's from his onboard camera. Chase Purdy right there, doing such a nice job in this race. See all the grass and the grill of the 28 of Sheldon Creed.
And he was the leader.
Now we're still going to have issues with fuel.
Yep.
We know that the 15 of Michael Self and the 3 of Willie Mullins were the first 2 cars to emerge from that turn 4 melee. There's Travis Braden climbing out of his car. Chase Purdy out of his car as well.
So Creed was involved in that as well, but he seems to have somewhat come through it as the red flag is out once again. As you can see, the cars all coming to a stop. So right now it's Michael Self, Willie Mullins, Noah Gregson back up to 3rd, now with fuel. Not as much of a concern as others. Then Creed and Kirk Horton, and that's how they're scored for the moment, so that's not official. Maybe some double checking. Bobby Gerhardt in 6th, Tom Hesser, John Ferrier, Max Tolman back in 9th, and Andrew Belmont.
We saw Andrew involved in that early incident on the front straightaway, but I'm telling you, if Noah Gregson can be up there somewhere in the top 5 after pitting, what, 1 lap ago, basically, that would be an amazing comeback.
And he will be tough to hold off. All right, let's see what happened here. Creed on the bottom, Core on the top.
Nobody to blame here. These guys are just doing all they can do to be pushed. You see the 28 get pushed sideways, and then the 43 of Core and the 8 of Chase Purdy make contact. The 43 takes the 27 up into the outside wall. You see Michael Self go by relatively unscathed from this incident anyway.
Chase Purdy got tight on the bottom. You could see he didn't have any air on his nose, and he just couldn't keep it down there and got into the outside lane.
He didn't have any air on his nose because his nose was up underneath the back of the 28 car.
And you have to do that if you want to win the race, but you can see it here.
This is in the middle of the backstretch.
Bumper to bumper, gets tight.
You can see how much higher his nose was there with no air on it.
Once cars get together, it's over.
The 06 and the 9. There's Brad Smith making contact with the 06. There's Riley Herbst, the NOS car on the right.
I think we're going to need to count the cars that haven't made contact.
Yeah, exactly. Travis Braden's on board. Nowhere to go. Absolutely nowhere to go.
On board with Natalie Decker.
She gets a good job. Sure, Eddie DeHunter, spotters talking her through this. She gets through on the bottom now. Looks like the track's blocked in front of her. Brad Smith's going to go down there, pass her, and hit somebody.
She still did a good job getting through.
What an amazing job she did getting through that. Looks like maybe at the very instant she might have got hit from behind.
So this is Riley Herbst on board with his. He's had, what many that's had eventful nights. Just about everyone has.
He was going to be okay till Brad Smith ran into the 06.
This might give us a better look at Sheldon Creed. Almost got it. Trying to hang on to the spin, and then I presume just went through the grass.
Yeah, spins down through the grass. If he kept that car going, though, and kept it rolling, and is going to restart in the 4th position, then he still has a shot at this.
This might give us a better look at Sheldon Creed in the 28 United Rentals car. Gets it turned back around and keeps it straight, just barely on the grass.
Does not even spin. He may even get to line up in front of Noah Gragson. Right now, our scoring monitor shows Noah Gragson. Depends if Arca deems that he was maintaining speed and when the caution flag came out. Look at the damage. The 0.6 into the windshield of Riley Herbst.
As a former car owner, how much are you thinking when you see these, how expensive this is?
Dollar signs.
Oh.
There's dollar signs. I mean, after the fact, you think about trying to get that trophy first.
Yeah. And then second, you're making sure that the driver is safe.
Exactly.
But after that, it's, oh, this is gonna cost us a lot. So we're hearing that Noah Gragson is going to have to go to the tail. He's not going to keep his spots.
Here, we'll check with the ARC officials and find out what the ruling is on that.
So maybe he scooted through too many after the caution was clearly
Well,
out.
you got to try to miss the wreck first.
Yeah.
You got to drive by him.
Oh, it's something totally different. He was laying back on the restarts.
Yeah, and on the restart before the incident, and he was going to have a drive-through penalty. We're hearing from the ARC officials, even had this incident not happened. So, so they're going to put him back now. They're going to take that spot away from him, put him to the back of the lead lap cars, I would guess.
So let's take one more look here with Riley Herbst on another big one, on another potential white flag lap. So we'll try again for the 3rd time from Daytona coming up.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Lucas Complete Engine Treatment is designed for use in both your fuel tank and engine oil. Once added to the fuel, it cleans the entire system from your tank all the way to the injectors, allowing for your fuel to burn more efficiently. The same special Lucas additives go to work in your engine oil, thoroughly cleaning all internal components. Adding it to your engine will also lengthen your oil life. As it cleans, your fuel economy improves and your oil lasts longer too. Lucas Complete Engine Treatment. It works.
May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds change and shift. May your heart always be joyful.
Long live the helpers. And long live the trucks that give you the strength to do more.
Now get an average $9,609 in total values on the 2018 Ram 3500 Limited Crew Cab with a Cummins diesel engine.
Running a business is not for the faint of heart. Luckily, Office Depot Office Max is here to take care of you. With print services, done right, on time, guaranteed. Expert tech support. And this week, all Office Depot brand paper is buy one, get one, 50% off. Plus, never run out with an Office Depot paper subscription. Subscribe today at OfficeDepot.com/subscriptions.
We believe in cleaner air for our families and yours. That's why we created DuPont Air Filtration. We use science and technology to remove impurities and airborne allergens, protecting not just you, but also your heating and air conditioning system, so that you can breathe easy, knowing that you're taking the best possible care of your family. Enjoy cleaner air with our great selection of air filters in our plumbing department today. DuPont Air Filtration, available at Menards.
Thanks for staying with us in Daytona for the Lucas Oil 200 driven by General Tire. Double overtime now. Well, the white flag restart is coming up. Don't forget, after we're done, it's the UFC 221 prelims, and that's already airing. The UFC 221 pre-fight is on FS2 and FS Go right now, and we'll join in when we are done after this red flag is lifted and we complete one lap here in the season opener for the Arca Racing Series presented by Menards. Michael Self under this red flag is the leader, and Willie Mullins is in second position down the pit road at Dylan Welch.
And we're down here with his car owner and crew chief, Andy Belmont. You guys have kind of been quietly riding all day, and now by process of elimination, find yourself in second with one lap to go. Just how you drew it up, right?
Well, we kind of planned a little bit of this. You know, we got a real tall gear in that thing for fuel mileage, and doesn't quite get going on the original start, so we need a little bit of help. But we just back there been trying to take care of it. I knew, you know, I've been coming here a long time. We just kind of knew what cars we didn't think were going to be around at the end. And, you know, we're blessed to be here. You know, it's Daytona. It's the Holy Grail, man. So bring the best car you can. You know, we were like second in practice when we come down here and test. And I knew we had a good horse, but we just, you know, everything's got to fall your way. You know, I mean, it's just, we're just proud that we're in this position and doing the best we can, but it ain't over yet. I'm not sure they're done wrecking.
What do you need from the cars behind you just to get into the front?
Well, the cars start behind us got the same gear in a tranny and the same gear in the rear end, so I just told him, make sure he starts in second gear and pushes us and don't jack the wheels off the ground. If he does that, I'm not sure how bad the 15's wounded there. He got turned there a little bit. Looks like the back bumper's hanging out a little bit, but I think if we can get to run a good run on the top, I think we'll be all right. You just don't know. I mean, hell, we're second. We might be 10th before I get back to the checker. You know, we might be upside down too. So, you know, I'm just thrilled that they chose me to work for them. And you know, we're a small team from Virginia, and a lot of volunteer help, a lot of guys busting their ass to be here and trying to live the dream. You know what I mean? And got to give a shout out to my boys, Kurt, Tech, in the Mod Space car. So I'm a little torn here. I'm watching the front and the back, you know what I mean? But I'm really blessed. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, 2 cars in the hunt here for Andy Belmont. Willie Mullins in second, and his son Andrew Belmont running in the 10th spot. Jim Trado?
Adventure Motorsports has 4 cars in the field. One driver that's worried about the lead is the number 15 of Michael Self. Self in the 15. Now that team, he's only got 10 races with him, so they have young Christian Eckes signed up for this team. Snowballed every winner from a few years ago, and you know what? He has a chance to learn a lot here tonight. So he's on the ladder talking to who will be his crew chief on the short tracks here in the Arca Racing Series. And Kevin Reed, the 2-time Daytona winner here, most recently in 2016. Now you've got all the scenarios played out, a lot of radio chatter. What are your thoughts as your car came clean through that to take the lead here on this restart?
Well, we come pit road. The rest of these guys in front of us hadn't pitted, so I'm going to imagine there's going to be a few more run out of gas here with as many laps as they've run. So I was trying to play it safe. Come to pit road, put gas in it early, come back to pit road to make sure we had enough for the end because it felt like it's going to be pretty racy here at the end. Michael Self is as good as race car drivers on the premises tonight, so he should be able to go win this thing. Hopefully we can get a push out of the box here and he can just be nice and smooth and we can take it home with us.
Kevin, your first stop was fuel only. You slid through. You came in and changed 4 tires. Is that any advantage now, having fresher General tires under your car at this point?
Having General tires is always a good, fresh General tires is always better than not. So we'll just take our chances here and go see what we can do.
It's Kevin Reed again, winning in 2013 and 2016 with 2 different teams. Same driver, John West Townley, looking for his 3rd ring in the last 4 years.
We saw Christian Eckes, who we'll see later this season, did a great job last year as a 16-year-old. Finished second a couple of different times, still just 17, so we'll see him later on this season. Who are you going to dial up?
Let's see if we can talk to Michael Self. Hey, Michael Self, Bill Parsons, and up in the FS1 booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Bill. Go ahead.
Well, you've done a great job. You're trying to go 2 in a row here. I know it was a while ago when you won that Arca race at Kansas, but that was our last one. You've done a great job keeping that car essentially in one piece, and we just talked to Kevin Reed, and he had a great strategy to get you guys out front. What do you think?
Essentially, the key word there. We bounced this thing off the wall not long ago. Gotten lucky with a couple of wrecks. I don't know, man. I made a huge mistake earlier that I've been apologizing to my guys for when I blew my pit box on that second stop. And, I mean, Kevin and those guys, all the Intrinsic Motorsports guys on the Sinclair 15 car here, gave me a phenomenal car, so I felt terrible about that. I mean, he called the strategy, and, you know, the strategy didn't work out how I wanted because of my mistake.
Are you thinking the inside line here for this restart? Michael, you thinking the inside line here for the restart? We must have lost.
I think that's proprietary information.
Yeah, he's going to tell you. Yeah.
Well, he does have the prime position to go here, and Willie Mullins will be on his outside, As Phil mentioned, Self won the last race of last season. Looking to go 2 in a row. Willie Mullins has not won before. 37-year-old from Fredericksburg, Virginia. His best finish 8th here a couple of years ago at Daytona. Just a part-time schedule last year and this year as well.
Look at the speedy dry in turn 4.
Yeah, look at the grass on the grills of Noah Gregson's car right there, that black and white Camry, the switch Camry. You see all the grass where he went through the grass avoiding that incident over in turn 4. There's Bobby Gerhardt's car. He's got a bunch of grass as well, but if we pan a little bit to the right, we hear that Noah Gregson is going to have to go to the back for this restart. Looking at Sheldon Creed's car too, a lot of grass on the grill of that car. So if they don't run too many overheat, remember when these engines get to 240 degrees, they will detune themselves a little bit, and certainly he would not be able to run long with that much grass on that grill.
So fuel a concern for some, overheating a concern for some of the same and others.
And the beach. Here, the beach over in this corner.
Yeah, vision.
Vision, yeah.
It's more sand than we have on the beach here in Daytona Beach.
So it's still going to take just a moment to get this finished up, but they're working on preparing the racetrack to resume. Now, we've got plenty coming up tomorrow starting at noon on Fox. The front row will be set for the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. Qualifying is coming up at noon tomorrow, and then back here on FS1, it's NASCAR Race Day, leading up to the Clash with the playoff drivers from last year, those that won a pole, former Daytona 500 winners, as long as you were running full-time last year. So I think 17 are entered in the Clash tomorrow.
And remember, a little bit different format this year. After those Daytona 500 cars qualify, the next time they will be on the racetrack is for the duel on Thursday. No more practice from here on out. They will not be on the racetrack again until Thursday. They had their practices today, and that's it for them.
So normally one of the advantages to running the Clash is getting a feel for racing here at Daytona, but how much an advantage too, just getting a little extra practice time. There's not that much anymore.
A huge advantage, especially in race trim. You know, you're going to have the Clash and race trim, so that's a big advantage to those guys that are in it.
So Austin, what are you thinking now? Especially kind of put your mind in the helmet of some of these that frankly probably weren't thinking they were going to have a chance to win when they entered this weekend. Now I've got a chance to win the biggest race I'm going to enter.
Talk about a turn of events.
Yeah.
It wasn't long ago we were looking at some of these guys and commenting, you know, maybe a 10th place finish was going to be good, but look at them. You know, Michael Self, some issues early on, like we mentioned before. And it's not only that, but you get the fact that a few red flags in a row. You know, it's getting hot. Guys are getting tired.
And girls.
Guys and girls are getting tired, and for some of these, this is the longest race they've ever run. You know, still short compared to the Daytona 500, but you got caution after caution, red flag. You know, the cars are holding up, but a lot of these guys and gals have damage too. So, I mean, we may see a winner that we may not even imagine. So we'll have to see how it turns out. I still think Michael Self's in a good spot right now. Creed, but you can't count row 3, 4, and 5 either. You can't count them out.
There's Bobby Gerhardt, has won this race 8 times, 9 ARCA wins, all on super speedways. Jim, do you have more on the 5?
I'm with his brother, Billy Gerhardt, was a crew chief and on that team for all 8 wins and won at Talladega to make it 9. But I just reminded him, in 2012, their last win here at Daytona, they were in 7th position coming off of the final corner. 3 cars ahead of them ran out of fuel to the checkered flag, and guess who raced on to victory? You guys! Is that going to play out again tonight here, Billy?
You know what? It's been a crazy race, but never count Bobby out here. You know, we're missing a right front fender. He had a missing accident down there, locked the tires up, and then the right front blew going down the backstretch. But he says car's pretty good behind some folks, so we're not going to count him out here, and we have plenty of gas to make it to the end.
Now, when it comes to these bodies, you guys were able to build cars that you were able to use multiple years and keep them in the corner just for Daytona, just for Talladega. This has been a new undertaking. What have you learned with this body and keeping that speed? You showed it in practice, and now obviously with damage even in the race.
Well, you know what? We took one of our old chassis that's over 12 years old, and we like that that status so much with those old cars, and we just worked a new body on it and tweaked some things and came here and tested last month. We were really happy with the car. Unfortunately, we didn't have the best qualifying effort. You know, we shook that off, and we knew it'd be tough coming from the back, hard to pass. But we'll see what happens here, but never count Bobby out here.
The Gerhart boys collectively have never given up to the checkered flag falls. That's Billy Gerhart, his brother Bobby. Might have a shot here. He's won it before in dramatic fashion, most recently in 2012.
And only 2 other drivers have more super speedway wins in Arca than Bobby Gerhart. Tim Steele with 24, Frank Kimmel, who's here as a crew chief for Leilani Munter for the first time. He has 23, and 9 for Bobby Gerhart, and maybe 10 here today as we see Leilani Munter's onboard camera. Now, meanwhile, we heard from Andy Belmont a moment ago. He's crew chiefing the 3 car. He's a really good race car driver in his own right. Started almost 200 ARCA races, finished 3rd in points back in 2001. As he said, and you can speak to this because your son races, how challenging is that? He's calling one race and he's watching his son there in the number 2 car, Andrew Belmont, making his ARCA debut in his first time at Daytona. I'm sorry, his first time at Daytona. He did do a few ARCA races a few years ago.
Yeah, he's one of the 16 drivers making their first start. He really has done a nice job. Remember, he got caught up a little bit in that incident earlier when Daniel Sasnick got into the outside wall on the front straightaway, but he soldiered on here and right now slides up into the top 10. So he's got a great shot at a good finish here. So really proud of him.
So the dust continues to fly. It is beginning to abate, we hope. Got the Air Titans clearing things up, and we'll go back to 1 lap in a moment.
Where's Frank? It's late night.
Save money on motorcycle insurance with Geico going up the country, bowl without me. Frank.
I'm going to get nachos. Snack bar's closed. Yeah!
Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
Hello. Hi. How's it going?
All right, how you doing?
Welcome. So, this is the all-new Chevy Traverse. What do you think?
This looks better than 99% of the SUVs out there.
It's very modern, sleek. Maybe the most impressive part of the all-new Traverse is what's on the inside.
What are you doing here?
I missed you guys. I haven't seen you guys in so long.
What's happening? We flew her out. It's a family car. We had to put your family in it.
Yeah, it gets 7 thumbs up.
Long John Silver's lets you skip your trip to the same old, and indulge in the different new. Like our classic Alaskan cod and shrimp basket for just $5.99. Change up what you're used to at Long John Silver's.
Daytona Day is coming.
The Daytona 500 is the great American race.
I know it was the crown jewel moment of my career thus far. And at Daytona, NASCAR's greatest drivers demand the fastest cars.
I can't wait to get behind the wheel of that 2018 Toyota Camry. Built in Kentucky and made for victory lane.
The Daytona 500 on Fox. Toyota, let's go places.
Hello? Can you hear me? I can't find Lucius. Is this the time?
We stick together. We survive.
I wanted to wait.
My name is Lucius Lyon.
I would slit her throat.
No!
He belongs to me.
Empire returns March 28 on Fox.
The unknown is a seduction.
Ooh. Science!
The wonder of Star Talk. Star Talk. New episodes Sunday nights at 11. Only on National Geographic.
Don't forget the UFC 221 prelims and pre-fight airing right now on FS2 and FS Go. We'll join them as soon as we're done. Cleanup is coming to a conclusion. The blowers have been taking care of the speedy dry, and we'll have 1 lap to go in the season opener in the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. Michael Self will restart in front We got a chance to talk to quite a few. Who are we going to try next, Phil?
Let's talk to Tom Hesser. We talked to him at the very beginning of the show. Let's see what he's been up to. Hey, Tom Hesser, Phil Parsons and the boys up in the FS1 booth. You got a copy? Well, Tom, we talked to you about 3 or 4 hours ago before this race started, and you obviously had a good car. You've worked your way back up into contention. What do you think for the end of this thing?
Well, I don't know. It's really long. Not really be a factor. I missed a couple wrecks, but I don't know. I'm not going to see the 28 got a little bit damaged, and the 3 seems to be fairly quick. We got our team up there to 15, so I don't know. We're just going to do our best. We got one lap here and try to get the victory lane.
Now, what's going through your mind, Tom, now knowing that you just have one more lap, and obviously the last time we tried one more lap, it didn't work too well?
Well, it's tough. It's trying to, so much of what the lap is, the outcome is generated from one on the restart. Just try to have a good restart before we start last night. I mean, granted, it's probably there's not 4 cars, but I don't know. Just trying to get a run on somebody here.
All right, buddy. Good luck.
All right, thanks.
Tom Hesser right now scored in 7th position, but we still think everyone might move up a spot. We were told earlier that Noah Gregson was to be penalized for laying off the last restart, so he's going to go to the back of the line. Right now he is 3rd in line. So if that holds, it would be Self, Mullins, Creed, Horton in the front 2 rows, Gerhardt, Hesser, Ferrier and Tolman, Belmont and Herbst, the top 10. Natalie Decker would be in 11th in that scenario.
You see Sheldon Creed's car. That's Sheldon right there. You can see that his splitter has been up a little bit where he went down in the grass there, so that's going to hurt him a little aero-wise, but we saw Gus Dean doing a good job with no left front fender, so it may be minimal, but you can definitely see that that front splitter has been pushed up as he went down through the grass.
Austin, I'm wondering if there's a challenge of sitting for so long and then trying to get back up in the saddle with laser sharp mental focus that quickly and for one lap with everything depending on it. What's that challenge?
You have to do it, but there's too much time for a bunch of different scenarios to go through your head right now. I mean, if you're leading the race, you're picturing 10 different scenarios of what can happen even before you get out of turn 2. And the chances are something different's going to happen than what you can even imagine. So you just have to be prepared for anything, really. Be flexible. I mean, know that you just got to hit your marks and hope that you have good help behind you. But the key, I think, especially with looking at who's in the top 5 right now, as long as Michael Self doesn't, give too much of a gap behind him on this restart, I think it's his race to lose. But I don't want to predict anything. We've seen before anything can happen.
One good thing about the change of the schedule this year, remember last year the Clash was scheduled right after this race, so you would be hustling up trying to get to that. There's nothing behind us at the track, so that allows the officials to clean up the track as much as they can and give everyone a fair shot at this final restart. There's a look at Kirk Horton, who right now is shown in 5th, but we think he's going to move up to 4th position. Dylan, tell us more.
Well, and he's obviously another one of those names that we're not used to seeing up on the top of the leaderboard. But that shouldn't be quite as big of a surprise as you maybe think. Those cars, his car and the team car, driven by Dave Mader, were prepared by Jeff Spraker. Shelley Stewart is the crew chief on this car, but Jeff Spraker is the one who prepared it, along with the teammate Dave Mader's car. Those 2 cars were fastest in practice on Thursday. So while we don't normally see drivers like Kirk Horton or even Dave Mader up near the front, it shouldn't be a surprise. They've been fast all weekend, and a good opportunity here for a good run for the driver of that 37 car.
How about that? In his first Arca start, he has been entered before, but this is the first Arca race that he started, and here with a lap to go, the biggest race of the year in Daytona, he's in the top 5.
Looks like that car's pretty clean too.
Yes, it does. He might win the award as the only one that hasn't been involved in anything. All right, let's go down to Jim now.
Well, it was a penny blue 43 on the outside of a restart just a few minutes ago, but Sean Corr, the driver's back here with what's left of your number 43 Chevrolet. That had to be a wild ride you took there.
That really was. My dad right now is in the hospital down in New Smyrna Beach and had a stomach operation. And I hope he was watching it, and I can imagine how crazy he was going watching us up front there. But I would have loved to bring him home a trophy today, but it just didn't happen. Our Empire Racing guys have been working on this car since really Talladega ended last year. We've been brainstorming on how to make the perfect composite speedway car, and I think we built it, and then I killed it.
Well, you've had the chance to develop young drivers, including Thad Moffitt, Richard Petty's grandson, thus the colors and the number 46 on your teammate John Ferrier's car. How exciting is that part of your Empire Racing driver development program?
That's very exciting. That is one of the nicest young gentlemen I could possibly ever meet. The kid comes into the shop every week, and if there's nothing to do, he's not above going and sweeping the floors in the shop and helping the guys build speedway cars and anything else that he can do. He's the Petty family, the Moffitt family. They've been so good to us.
And Thad's been here all weekend with wrenches in hand, working with his team. He'll get his chance, hopefully, for a fourth Arca start with Sean Corr and the Empire Racing team here in 2018 after 3 starts on the short tracks a year ago.
Yep, Thad Moffitt is just 17. Tough way to finish for Sean Corr, but they knew he was here tonight. He was a factor late at Daytona. Well, that's a good sign. The cars are rolling again. We'll come back to try our third white flag. One more to go from Daytona. Stay with us.
Long story short, you're probably fine. I gotta go. Sorry, man. No worries, we're not late. There he is. Nice shoes. Yeah, those are cool. Let's do this. Come on.
Smoky Mountain barbecue, fried chicken so crispy and sweet. That crispy fried chicken. All right, stop. I can't do this. I thought if I dressed up like a country music legend, it would help KFC sell my delicious new Smoky Mountain barbecue. Try it in the tenders basket for just $4.99.
The 29th champion is Brittany Force.
The stakes are high out there. This rivalry now is not only on the racetrack, it's inside of each one of their heads. Talk about iconic names.
Is back with the Winter Nationals from Ramona, Sunday at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on FS1.
It's the biggest, most prestigious, most hard-fought championship in this genre of racing. The gate drop to kick it all off happens right now.
Monster Energy Supercross, San Diego, tonight, 10 Eastern on FS1.
We're about to get the first NASCAR green flag of Speed Week.
This is the fastest of the fast.
Green flag all rolling.
Flash is underway. It's the Can-Am Duel at Daytona. Wow.
Speed begins with the Daytona 500 qualifying on Fox. Tomorrow at noon Eastern, followed by the Clash at 2 on FS1. And don't miss the Daytona 500 on Fox.
If you're searching for the UFC 221 prelims, you can find them right now on FS2 and FS Go, and we'll join when we're done here coming up on FS1. So right now, FS Go, FS2 is where you find UFC 221, the pre-fight show. We are rolling again under yellow. When we go back to green, there will be 1 lap remaining. We'll try it for the second time in the Arca Racing Series presented by Menards, but drama for the 28th Sheldon Creed, Jim.
Creed just radioed, guys, I think I have a flat. He wiggled the tires. He said, for sure, 1 tire is down. I need to come to pit road. The right front deflated under that red flag. Again, the team was worried about A, going through debris, and B, the tire wear. on all these laps under this oil dry situation. Track doing the best they can, but the race leader at the time of our most recent caution, Sheldon Creed, in for 4 fresh General tires after the right front went down on his team. And their hopes of winning have been dashed as well.
A little bit of fuel, though we were getting a little bit worried about whether they had enough fuel or not. We saw them dump some fuel in it, so he should be good to go now.
So Michael Self is the leader. Willie Mullins in second. Noah Gregson is still shown in third. We had heard that he was going to be penalized. We're still waiting as the team is going to check can.
He's lined up 4th right now.
Tom Hessert has moved in front of him there. So maybe just giving a spot back, which is one of the penalties that can be allowed at times.
We're still being told by the Arca officials that the 54 of Noah Gregson is going to have to go to the back of the pack here. You see Natalie Decker now. Looks like it's going to line up in the 3rd spot. With all the problems she's had, our pole sitter. There's Bobby Gerhardt, no right front fender on this Lucas Oil car. He will restart apparently in the 4th position once Noah moves out.
So maybe just look for
5th position, excuse me.
Most pristine cars. You said Willie Mullins' car looks pretty good. Gregson's car still looks good, but he's going to have to deal with some track position if he serves this penalty. Hessert's car looks good.
Yeah, Kirk Horton's car looks good.
4 fenders was not a requirement tonight to run in the top 5. Even winning the race, we may see a car with 3 fenders in victory lane.
Well, Michael Self's car's beat up pretty good, just about all the way around it.
Yeah, he said hello to the wall and he had a little contact early on. But he's got a chance to win the biggest race of his life. He won his first Arca race in the season finale last year. He's won multiple times in the K&N Series. And the furled flag is being shown, so next time by, we will have 1 lap to determine the season opener in the Arca Racing Series.
See the 54 of Noah Gregson move over now to let the field go by.
And look at Tom Hessert up there in 3rd position now. And he's got a lot of experience, a 6-time winner in Arca, looking for his first win at Daytona. And there's Bobby Gerhardt, the 8-time winner here. That's going to be in play. And Natalie Decker, the young 20-year-old from Wisconsin who started on the pole. She's got a lot of damage in that car and has had many more near misses. She's still in play.
I think she would have liked to have been lined up with her teammate, Tom Hessert, but she's going to have to line up on the outside of Tom Hessert in the 4th position. Bobby Gerhardt there back in 5th.
I don't even want to predict what's about ready to happen.
So there's Gregson back there. The back of that little pack.
I think that's essentially all the lead lap cars that we have that don't have a tremendous amount of damage. Now I'm sure the Arca officials are telling him he's got to drop all the way back, not just to the back of the lead lap cars. He has to drop back to the back of the field.
What do you think about Hessert right now?
I think it's the same thing we were talking about before. Let's push Michael Self, make sure we get by the 46 car out of fuel. See if he can get sufficiently out of the way so we can go ahead and restart. That looks like that's the chicane over on the backstretch for the road course. Not sure he's going to be out of the way.
They're entering turn 4 right now. Pace car lights are out. Self in the green and white Sinclair car on the bottom. Mullins, red and white number 3 car on the top side. Hessert's in 3rd position. Decker is up there in 4th. Gerhardt, Horton. Pace car is off. One more time to decide the season opener from Daytona in Arca. And it's a great jump from Michael Self back to the front.
Let's see if Tom Hessert can clear Willie Mullins now. Here comes Natalie Decker. She's pulling up in the back bumper of Willie Mullins. Outside line has a little bit of energy now. There's Tolman in the 78. He's now trying to decide whether he's going inside or outside.
And we know Max Tolman is fast. He was fast early.
25 is going to line up behind Hessert here.
And Self is all by himself. He has no help going down the backstretch. Half a lap to go. Does Michael Self have a big enough cushion? Mullins and Hessert for second, with Decker trying to push Hessert to see if they can catch Michael Self as they head to turn number 4. Michael Self has a cushion. Headed down through the tri-oval. Michael Self is going to win in Daytona. Win number 2, and this is the biggest stock car race in the Arca Series.
Look at the excitement down on pit road.
Kevin Reed, the winner again in Daytona. And Venturini Motorsports celebrates at the World Center of Racing.
3 cars in the top 5 of Venturini Motorsports, with Hessert 4th and Natalie Decker in 5th. What a comeback by Sheldon Creed to finish 3rd.
Noah Gregson recovers to finish 7th. Jim, take it away.
Kevin Reed, we know the emotion flows when he's got a chance to win, but you were on pins and needles for it seemed like forever. How much of a relief is this, knowing the emotion shows on the outside when you win races?
Man, we've won a bunch of them over the years, but every time they're sweeter and sweeter. At the end of the day, you just never know when you'll win another one. But this is 3 times down here, and there's nothing better than winning at Daytona International Speedway.
When it comes to this win, though, there had to be a lot of teamwork. You and Billy Venturini spent a lot of time getting these cars about right, and you damn near finished 1, 2, 3.
Well, we went to Talladega. I showed up. We went to Talladega to test, and they built a car there. And we got there, and we were 2.5 seconds off. He come home, and he said, I don't care what you got to do to fix it. I want you to fix it. Jack Irving gave us wind tunnel time from Toyota. Everybody's been behind it. Bill and Kathy have been supporting us with everything we need, and we're going to do a lot of this year.
Now, a 3-time Daytona Arca race winner as a crew chief, Kevin Reed.
So many good stories. Michael Self winning. How about Willie Mullins with his best finish in 2nd? Creed recovers to finish 3rd. Tom Hessert 4th, and Natalie Decker now shown in 4th position. Flirting with that, so we're going to have to wait for that for an official finish for the top 5. But we know Michael Self won, and here is how he got it done with the restart.
What a great restart. Willie Mullins was not able to keep pace. Really, Michael Self just pulled away from Tom Hessert. Then Willie Mullins had a little help from behind, and that got him beside Tom Hessert, and that slowed their momentum, and that gave Michael Self enough of a cushion that he was able to drive all the way around by himself.
Too many cars with damage to make up that gap.
And even the 2nd row didn't have any kind of a push there. Hessert and Mullins were on their own. Decker got back in to help just a little bit.
Yeah, she was trying to help her teammate right here, Tom Hessert. That's her in the white and red car. Willie Mullins did an outstanding job. You talked about him finishing in the top 10 last year. He stays right there with Tom Hessert. Has a little bit of help from Sheldon Creed to get by Tom Hessert. He's going to end up with a 2nd place finish, and Sheldon Creed recovered from a late pit stop to come to home 3rd.
What a story. Michael Self wins. His partner Sinclair Oil, Willie Mullins, Sheldon Creed, Tom Hessert, Natalie Decker, the top 5. Max Tolman recovers to finish 6th, and Jim is in victory lane.
And the hugs continue here. Venturini Motorsports won here in 2013 for the first time, and Billy Venturini here in the gray shirt oversees the day-to-day operations. Michael Self in disbelief here in victory lane with his Sinclair Toyota. He said, I want to win races, and I want to do it with Venturini. Last year, he won with MDM Motorsports and raced with Mason Mitchell Motorsports. He also won races in the NASCAR West Series, but this, no doubt, has to be one of the biggest victories for Utah's Michael Self as he climbs from the car in Gatorade Victory Lane at Daytona. What a way to start the season. Here he is, Michael Self, the winner at Daytona. It seemed like an eternity during that red flag, but look at that emotion. Michael, how did you do it?
What?
How'd you do it?
Survived, man. Just survived. Got lucky, made it through a couple wrecks. Just took this number 15 Sinclair Oil Toyota to just overcame a lot. This thing is rough. This thing's been beat up, but Kevin, Billy, these guys, Mike Herman Jr. just guided me, man. They just told me every single thing that I needed to do. I mean, they drove this car from the outside. I made mistakes,
they helped me overcome them, and now we're here.
Thanks to everyone. Big Bill Venturini.
We got to say thank you, Michael. Here comes the kiss from Papa Bill. Congratulations, Michael, self a winner here at Daytona to start the season.
What a story, a great show tonight. Michael Self wins. Thanks so much for joining us. Looking forward to a great 2018. For Austin Terrio, Phil Parsons, Dylan Welch, and Jim Trado, I'm Kevin Lee. Coming up next, the UFC 221 pre-fight show. Good night from Daytona.
Later tonight.